I skipped breakfast again, or coffee is enough, right? Now don't confuse a low appetite with low maintenance. Welcome to another weekly edition of Kitchen Confessions, where I talk all kinds of things based around plant-based lifestyles. All the things that you may have questions with or that maybe you're a little confused with. We'll dig into it right here, right now. Now, I used to tell myself a very similar thing when I skipped breakfast in mornings and got right into my daily action. I wasn't hungry, or, coffee was enough, tea was enough, whatever it is that I needed just to get me moving and out the door and into my busy day. But what I was truly doing is ignoring my body because, again, low appetite is not necessarily low maintenance. It's not saying that your body is happy with what you're doing with it, even if you convince your brain that you are. Because if you've done that yourself, I'm also willing to bet that something else happened right around 3 p.m. That crash would come. And you know what I'm talking about. All of a sudden, you would get cranky and you would start craving all the things that you didn't want to eat. Like sugar, right? Like candy and cookies and all those things that maybe you had stashed inside your drawer. Now, skipping breakfast did not make you more efficient. What it did is, again, started patterns. These coffee-only mornings often always turned into sugar cravings around 3 p.m., right? And what would that in turn do? It would provide you with a lot of opportunity for a mindless snacking. Women think that they're not hungry when really what they are is disconnected from their body. So if this has been happening for you, if you have been skipping breakfast for many years, for doing all these things, maybe it's time to rethink your approach, especially for women once they hit midlife. Once you move into your 40s and 50s, skipping breakfast might feel normal because you've developed a pattern for it, but it might not be the best thing for your body. Your body's screaming out for proper nutrition, especially as you're going through more and more changes in your life. And if you're not providing that, again, your body, again, will do something down the road and let you know that it's not happy. Now, there is a difference between skipping meals and fasting. I know a lot of talk is going on right now with the whole concept of fasting. Skipping meals often lacks structure and purpose, while fasting, like intermittent fasting, involves a structured schedule of eating or non-eating periods. So with intermittent fasting, what you are doing is you are actually putting structured meals at appropriate times throughout your busy day. Very different than just skipping meals altogether. Because when you're fasting, you know the importance of getting the proper nutrition. You understand the negative consequences if your body doesn't receive the nutrition that it needs. So big difference, and if you ever think the two are one and the same, again, really do some research on this because there's a very distinct difference. Skipping meals is often tied to lack of nutrients, whereas fasting makes sure you're getting nutrients at specific periods through the day. And especially at this particular point in your life, as you're changing and moving from your 40s to your 50s, there's a big cost, and that comes down to your hormonal cost. Now, blood sugar spikes and crashes turn into stress hormones, turn into mood swings. You get the whole picture, right? Because you're experiencing this. And that really is the key. If all of this is leading to you not being your optimal self, again, maybe it's time to rethink your approach. What real nourishment looks like in the morning amounts to a lot of protein, a lot of energy, a lot of nutrients that goes into helping you be the best you can be. And that looks like on the other end, clarity, more stability, better choices as you manage your day. Now, it's not like you have to eat a ton. It's not like you have to go out and, change everything about your approach to eating. I often find that smoothies are one of the best things you can do because they're easy to create and they're easy to take with you. In fact, I've been taking in smoothies for breakfast for years, for probably 7, 8, 9 years now. And I very rarely deviate with it because I do remember a time when I would hit the Starbucks or grab a pastry on the way out the door. And again, I was hungry within a matter of hours, right? Sometimes even minutes, depending on what you're doing. And that's not the way you want to feel throughout your day. So I have found that power smoothies are probably the best thing I can do. I time exactly when I'm going to take them in every day, and I make them with very specific ingredients. And if you're interested, you can always play along with me out on my Substack with my cookbook club, where I provide you a lot of different resources for you to be developing your own menu items. Or I've got recipes specifically with my plant-based protein shake, one that I eat, like I said, every single day. So much so that I have even purchased a travel blender that I take with me for when I go on vacations and out, so that I can always have my protein smoothie with me. Now, I'm not saying you have to indulge in smoothies every single morning if that's not your thing, but what I would suggest is that you create your own pattern, because if you do, it's one of the easiest ways to bring joy into your life. Breakfast is one of the easiest places to rekindle a loving relationship with your food because it's easy to create, it's easy to nurture, and it's easy to take with you. Again, you don't need a 3-course meal for breakfast. You just need something that is nutritious. So skipping meals is not about self-control. It's about self-disconnection. For your energy, for your clarity, and for joy, I invite you to introduce high quality, high protein breakfast into your meal once again. And always, if you have any questions or you would like your question answered right here on Kitchen Confessions, leave a note below and yours might show up soon.